Maybe that would be. over and over again. I hope it is. I've never seen anything like that at this level. All right. Hope we have the honor of our superintendent. You know, I hope it is. I've never seen anything like that at this level. This is pretty low. Let me see if I can raise the seat. I look like a little kid trying to see over the counter. Oh. What's in here? Let's pick it up. I think this is what's for me. I don't have to do all of that. Right. Make sure I'm on airplane mode, so I'm not getting calls. Are we the only people showing this evening? Pardon me?
There are two people on one of them on the left.
Are the supervisors not attending today? Oh, Brian's on the line? Okay, wonderful. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
It's good to hear your voice, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, it's approximately 5:05 p.m. Meeting's going to be called to order. Right. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all.
Okay, we'll take a members present. 1 second. That's, I just have to change the chair over here. It might be easier for you to just take one of the tools. Let me just turn my. Oh, no. I just raised it. I felt like I was in a low chair, a toddler's chair. It was so low. All right, members present. We have Vicky Osgood. Audrey Bailey Hawker. Right. And Rose Davis. Okay, great. I don't know.
To announce it via Zoom, the township solicitor and Brian Barrett.
Oh, who else is here? It's, well, that's public. Members present. Members, board members. Do we announce? I don't recall announcing every public person. No.
I see the board of supervisors do it, that's why.
Oh, okay. General public members that are here, if you want to identify yourself, that's fine.
I can't quite hear. This is Ron Karasak, the solicitor to the Township Board of Supervisors, attending via Zoom.
Brian Barrett attending via Zoom.
Great, wonderful. Welcome, welcome everyone. We're going to start the meeting out with the approval of the minutes from the reorganizational meeting. Y'all want to take a minute, take a look at them, or? That I received had great number of errors in it, and I did not approve that. Okay, these are the
Yeah, because,
those were the that night of the meeting. Oh, that was those were the notes, then they weren't really from the night of the meeting. Okay. And they were in the format, the official format that we generally see. Okay, so these are them, right? These are the minutes that will go into the record. Very
well, I'm not approving it because at the meeting, Robert Lovenheim was present, and I don't see his name here that day, so.
What about the other content?
The other ones.
The other
I present,
content.
But, also on the information here, the first page where it says after discussion, Ms. Davis made a motion.
Yes.
Regarding about that, if you look at it in a public view, like if I'm reading this as a public, I would be interested after a discussion, like what was the discussion about? Like when you go look at other minutes from other township, there is detail. And when you asked me to do a draft minute and I presented it to you, and also it also states here that it was publicly via Zoom streamed live. So if a public is interested, they will always go back. Because with this, you can't really understand what happened.
Okay. Have you been to our Smithfield Township website where they have the Board of Auditors and they have the notes, they have Zoom link, or they have information for the supervisors meeting? And I'm quite sure eventually it will be the same for our meeting. So that's.
It is up now, but it wasn't up before.
Okay, so. Yeah, oh, yeah, so that's why the residents can go to the township and
I
do.
get it,
and
I
look.
understand.
Okay.
But you know, when you go to the other minutes for other township, board of supervisors, even our school district, all right, always writes that the board of auditors, had a meeting, it was via Zoom live, so the public always has a chance to go back. If the minutes are interested, they would like to watch the whole segment.
Okay, point taken. We will definitely make sure that
Because
those
there's some,
comments
like, some of the
are
discussions,
covered into
some
the
of the
minutes.
discussions that you had during that meeting, you talked about the cap hours and all that. None of this is here. Like,
It says discussion.
You just wanted to do
I
a
don't know.
shortcut. That's
No,
it.
this is just the minutes that we have always had for
But
for
the
the
minutes can
board.
also go into details.
Okay, so, only thing I'm saying to you is that what is here, the recommendations that you're making, point taken, she's making some recommendations that, we need to pass on to Lois and the town administrator, people who actually sit and take the notes of the meetings. We can do that. That's not an issue. That's not a problem.
No,
That's
and
without
also,
question.
If I'm secretary, I think I should be taking the notes. And especially when you call and ask me if I have a drafted minutes. And yet if you're not gonna be using that, don't waste my time. If you're gonna use someone else's minutes.
I'm glad
I don't know who
you
took the minutes. Can I just say one thing? That, number one, as far as the Zoom aspect of it is concerned, I went on, I just saw one little short snippet. I didn't see the entire meeting. Did you see the whole
The whole
thing?
meeting is there.
Well, it didn't
Well,
come
where's
through
the
on
link
mine.
at? No, that's a link that probably needs to
Well,
be
this
put,
is-
no, needs to be, that's.
I
link
use
there.
that link.
This is
It-
my link,
Yeah, I use that link.
and
And it
then it
just-
also says you could go to Smithfield Township webpage and the date of the meeting too, exactly.
Now, and the other thing is, if you're taking minutes, it's good that two people are, because when I
Mhm.
read, if those are the minutes that were offering opinions and things like that,
Yeah,
because
And you
you're,
could go back also to
Yeah.
YouTube if you missed
Okay,
anything.
but I
too.
do want to conclude my statement here. I saw a lot of errors in it, a lot. My name became Hock, H-O-C-K.
Misspellings, there were misspellings?
Not only misspellings, grammatical, as well as opinions. If you're taking minutes, you're not offering your opinion. Someone was trying to explain this and by name to this, and I never saw anything. I was on the school board for 4 years, and I know that we never handled minutes like that. So I would not have approved of it, but I do feel that you're correct. And, you know, if you want to add things in there, you certainly can.
Mhm.
And as soon, before they're approved, just send them over. And then the lady that's paid for it, because we're not paid anything, but the woman that is paid to do minutes, let her do them.
Yeah,
For
but
the
I'm
township.
also, if I'm the secretary, I volunteer to do it.
Yeah, but you're taking notes during the minute,
Taking
during the
notes.
meeting. That's your secretarial duty. And then the person that can really finalize the things that we will publish should be the secretary. Let her do it. But if you can remember, if you're going to take them, you don't offer your opinion. in
I
it.
didn't offer my opinion.
Absolutely.
These are all based
Absolutely.
on the video.
If you read it, you're actually offering your opinion when.
No, I'm
you're trying-
not.
Well,
Okay, well,
You can't go
well,
I'm
back
not
and
gonna
forth.
argue with this.
no,
We can
I'm
go back and
definitely not.
watch
I
it.
have no time
anyway,
or
let's-
anything else for that.
But I'm just saying, I'm not approving this one
That's
because
okay.
okay,
We'll
that's
just take
fine.
a vote.
We'll-
and
We'll,
that's
we'll
it.
take a vote.
There-
We'll take a vote.
there's a name that's missing.
We'll take another, we
Put a
will
vote
take a
in.
vote. That's what we're doing, taking a vote on the minutes. Okay, these are the minutes for the reorganization meeting that were drafted and sent over here. And each of you have had an opportunity to peruse them. And at this time, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Once the added name is in there, so. we
What,
need to
okay, wait a minute,
do-
which added name are we referring to?
Robert Levenheim was present that day too.
Okay, you're right.
And since we're doing, is he the gentleman that stormed out of the meeting?
He's the one that stood up and left.
See that? I hadn't seen anything like
Well,
that.
he's a supervisor, but he was here. I guess we should put, he was here and he left, right? You'll be happy.
Well,
And that's all.
No, we're not gonna do that. That's just petty. Anyway, so Robert Lovenheim's name, I'm going to write it here,
Mhm.
supervisor. And with that,
And you might wanna also write the public person that was attended here too.
And it
What
wasn't my
person was
husband-
that?
And it wasn't my husband. He's my
No.
brother. See, so you can't assume when you're writing things in there for the public to read.
It was James Dale today, that's present today.
his name is written, the public people that are attending, their names are here already, but this will encompass another set of minutes for the special meeting. We're referring to the reorganization meeting that took place in January.
He was present too. That evening.
She just said he wasn't here.
No,
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 he
he
was.
was here.
It's just, I
James
thought that was
Bailey
her
was
here.
husband.
And so
James
she
Bailey?
put down James Bailey, Mrs. Hawkins' husband.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
that doesn't-
okay, so we will add, let's make sure I'm clear. We're going to add Robert Lovenheim,
Yeah.
supervisor,
Mhm.
and we're going to add James Bailey.
No, we just, well, yeah, James Bailey. He's not in there already.
So if we had a room of 50 people, we take an inventory of each name, pass a sign-in sheet. Is that how it works? Is that how it works, a sign-in sheet?
Yep.
And then attach the sign-in sheet to the minutes? That's how you guys want to handle it? Okay. Okay. So I've added the two names that were missing. And I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to accept the reorganization minutes as of January 4th. Vicky? Okay. Very good. These are the minutes that were taken by the Lois Tur, the administrative secretary for the township, Smithfield Township. That has always been the case here. We do at times issue addendums to those minutes. And that's probably something we will reserve the right to happen in the future, but previous boards, my board, I've been on the board now for 5 years, that we have done that in the past. So, but as of today, we just approved the reorganization minutes, and these are only minutes that I know of. Have we voted?
Yeah, we have to go.
Yes,
And so now we vote.
Yeah. I vote aye.
And I vote aye with the corrections.
Based on after, with the corrections, that you make the corrections. And that will go into the official record.
Yes, with the corrections.
Okay, moving on, number 5, public comments on the agenda. I open the floor. Do we have any public comments? I think everybody received a copy of the agenda. Did you get a copy? You have copies available? Oh, I'm sorry. Please, up here at the table, we have copies of the agenda.
The public comments on the agenda. I'm part of the public as well.
Okay. The floor is open for any public comments.
And if it's last, then I would like to comment, even as a board member. Perhaps we can put down some of the unfinished business, just title. I know that you haven't done it in the past, but this almost looks like a blank piece of paper when I was looking at it, because I'm fairly new at this myself in
Mhm.
terms of this. And it would be helpful to know what that unfinished business was.
Oh, that it was pre-completed before we received it, unfinished business, because it said none. None was presented, so I think that the floor can always be open for any and every new topics or any issues that can come about. I don't see this as closed as it stands. Okay, we have any other comments? Okay. Okay. Any unfinished business? Next item on the agenda?
Well, it would have been, had I not received letters from attorneys, it would have been unfinished business where they discussed salaries at that meeting, that reorganizational meeting. And, this was never really concluded, that whole conversation. And with one of the 2 board members who were present stalking out like a child, I really didn't get the gist of what they were talking about. My understanding actually was that we looked at a budget. And within that budget, they had a certain number, a percentage of an increase. And I'm following what the budget says. I mean, I didn't write the budget. It was something, that went through Kirk Schumer. And my understanding that if that was budgeted for them, then what was all of this about? And do they not set their own salaries or something like that? Is that,
The,
what is the procedure for that? Who
Well-
sets that in the
Board of
budget?
Auditors set their hourly rate.
I understand
Well,
that much. I'm
actually-
talking about the actual figure for that job and whatever the specs are for that job, because it was very confusing to me, basically, that they were talking about a job that is not filled by any one person, but divided into three to heighten the part-time salaries of the supervisors. Now, that was sort of new to me, but apparently it can happen here. I mean, I've seen too many times where the law is practiced as, written as is practiced, but
Right.
in this case, why isn't there a third person? That's my question. I
Okay,
mean,
well, I think Brian's on the line. He's one of the supervisors that,
yeah, if you're on the
Uh,
line, I don't see it here.
Brian, you're on the line, right?
Yes, I am.
Audrey is, asking a question regarding,
The third position.
well, one thing, before you answer, Brian, one thing I want to say, Audrey, is that the supervisors control the budget for our township. That's a part of their duties and responsibilities. And they develop the budget annually, and it's circulated throughout the community for public opinion. And there is a salary line, a budgeted elected officer salary line within that budget, and the supervisors control how much that number is. It can be higher, lower, or whatever. They control the total amount that is in that line.
Yeah, because I was reading that. I think I was referred to the certain type of township, second-class township or something like that.
Mhm.
And I did read that. I mean, I've been sick quite a while here, but I had time in the hospital to sort of peruse this. And apparently, if they wanted a raise, wasn't it incumbent on them to write a higher figure for that position? If they wanted that divided, I don't understand. Because when they presented it to us here, I'm seeing it for the first time, January 4th, and I'm going along with the budget that they have. All of a sudden, I'm doing something way across country, and I get a call that says that I've been served as an auditor because I did not comply with the wishes of the supervisor. No, I definitely, because I'm very peeved about this, and I'm doing this free of charge. Nobody pays me, just like they're bickering about a salary that doesn't even belong to them, but they decided to divide it up. Nobody's paying for my gas, my time, or anything else. And so I'm just really confused at this time, because I'm across the country and somebody is telling me a marshal is at my door and I'm being served. And I'm saying, well, who is paying for an attorney to sue the Board of Auditors here? And then I pay taxes here. So that's my tax money that is going to pay for these lawyers. When in fact, these people were right in the same room with me. I'm in the same township for the last 20 years. First of all, I've never even heard of the meetings. It might be advertised to some public, but I've never seen it. And I'm somebody that is very community minded. I participate in just about everything since I've
Okay,
been here.
so
So I want to go back to the question.
what is the question?
Why wasn't it put in that salary that they want to chop up for 3 people high enough to satisfy them? Why would they come here bickering on the 4th of January about that? And then taking me to court because I'm following the rules.
Okay, before Brian answers that question,
Let him answer it.
well,
Let him answer
the
it.
role of the auditors is to establish the
I-
salary level. We'll talk more
I
about
know
that
it,
under
because I
new
did-
business,
I
under new
did-
business.
You know, I did read it.
Okay, all
I
right.
know what we were supposed to do that night.
Okay. Brian, you have the floor, my friend.
This is Ron Karasak, and I'm directing Brian Barrett not to answer that question. There's litigation in court. There is a trial scheduled in December, and at that time, the questions that you have will be answered.
What is that about? What are you saying? that you can't tell
Are you
us
pleading the
why
fifth?
you set the salaries and you're saying that you can't tell us why you didn't set enough money in that salary. That's a big secret until we go to court.
We are not going to get into that this evening, in all due respect. That is left for trial. Was my understanding your meeting today was simply to, number one, approve the minutes of January's reorganization meeting. Number two, hire a lawyer for the lawsuit. And number three, set the lawyer's pay. And at that point, as per the judge's instruction, the supervisors will then determine whether they want to agree with the lawyer you've appointed and whether they want to agree with the pay. And if not, the matter goes back to the judge for determination on those two issues.
Well, that is very cute. because
Ron,
the
I
truth
do
is-
want to add something because I was at the courtroom that day.
Oh, you were.
Yes, I did. And Judge Zulik also said, even though there's a court hearing date for December 22nd, he did say, try to settle with the auditors one more time before coming to court. Did he say that or he did not say that? Please clarify that.
He had indicated that once a lawyer was appointed by the board and accepted by the township supervisors, and the rate would also be accepted by the supervisors, then obviously the lawyer should try to get together and settle it. So you are correct.
Thank you.
Okay,
What
so,
attempt was made to do that?
so we have gone into in the weeds here, we in the weeds. We need to, I know some of the questions that you're asking are dealing with outside of budgetary issues to more towards the thought process that was in place during the budgetary process, because we're in that budgetary process right now for 2023. The township, the supervisors have published a tentative budget, and there's been budgetary meetings on it. And so I think at that time,
Attended.
yeah, and at that time, I think whatever thought process that they're going through for the 2023 budget for supervisors that have a dual role in our township. Not only are they elected township supervisors, they also hold a regular employee job within the township. And that is the salary rates that we as auditors have the duties and responsibilities to assign a pay rate for them. So that's the other piece. So I don't know what thought process these guys had when they set the budget up back in 2022 for our fiscal year. But I do know that, as Ron Karasak mentioned, our role tonight is kind of a narrow role where we are going to talk about the law firm that we have engaged to represent us in this matter that we're being sued by the supervisors. And the other thing is to provide some clarification to the supervisors' rates that were established at our reorganization meeting, so that we go forward, if there's any additional continued litigation on this matter, that would be handled in a either some kind of arbitrational matter or some kind of civil matter, whether it's with the attorneys or it can be with the judge.
Oh, no,
Technical
so
issue?
this is just having problems that keeps resetting itself.
Sorry.
The video and the sound has not been affected by this.
Okay,
at
that's
all.
what I'm gonna make sure.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
This is
So,
Ron Karasak. I'm sorry, Madam Chair, go ahead.
No, I finished my my spill in terms of the narrow focus that we're trying to accomplish today.
And this is Ron Karasak speaking. I would like the board to know that I have had a couple of conversations with Attorney Benjamin Storms. And in fact, he sent me an email last on October 26th saying, did I have a chance to speak with the supervisors yet about this matter? And I have been reluctant to get into detail with him with respect to this matter, because at this point, I don't know if, and this is not to be a left-handed comment, I don't know if he has been appointed by the auditors to be their attorney. And then if so, what is his rate? Because once they has been established, then I can freely speak with him as lawyer to lawyer with respect to maybe how we can settle this. So I've been not ignoring him, but I've been reluctant to get into details with him because at this point,
Okay.
I don't know if he's truly been appointed by the board. Board meaning your board.
Okay. Okay, that's, we're going to accomplish that tonight, and I also have his, the attorney's letter and everything that I will, submit and put it into the record as well. So, with that said, I think we should move on to, the new business, and I want to approach it with discussing B first, 7B first, and then we'll take the 7A afterwards, the appointment of the attorneys.
17, sorry.
Yeah, we're going to address clarification of supervisors' pay rate so that there's shouldn't be any misunderstanding. However, here we are today. We're here today to talk about it. In the minutes that were approved, I've been on this board for 5 years now. We've always had annual, quarterly, monthly, hourly. And as our role here as auditors for the board, and in accordance to the second-class township rules, there are multiple ways to define salary, but in a normal setting, not only am I just an auditor, but I'm a CPA as well. I'm going to share that. When you hire an employee, you let them know, here's your annual salary, or here's your monthly salary, your hourly. So to really expand in terms of what was presented on January the 4th, I'm going to put into the record that we're going to add the annual and we're going to add the hourly rate. So that at that point, anyone with a calculator can add up a pay rate so that there's no misunderstanding, no gray areas, no confusion or anything. So at our January 4th meeting, we gave out numbers for monthly and quarterly. And I have here the hourly and the monthly. We're on a bi-weekly pay period at this township. And I have a schedule that will add the hourly rate, because at the meeting that occurred on January the 4th, a 3% increase was given to the salaries for the supervisors across the board. No distinction between this person get this percent, the next person get this percent. It was uniformly applied, and the annual salary for Brian Barrett as secretary, his role, his position, according to the supervisor's January, I think it was January the 3rd or the 2nd, the supervisors held it was the day before, January the 2nd, the supervisors held their reorganization meeting, and in those minutes, they specified specifically the job title for each one of the supervisors. And in the minutes, page 5 of 6, it lists each of the positions. Brian Barrett, Secretary. Brian Barrett, Secretary. Robert Lovenheim, Economic and Parks Development Officer. And Jacob Pride, it says Digital Specialist and Parks Coordinator. So in the chart that I'm going to throw in, that's going to go into the minutes for tonight as a visual, list each of their titles. Annually, Brian as secretary is $20,326.02 with an hourly pay rate of $23.69. Robert Lovenheim, Economic and Parks Officer, $16,309.02. Hourly rate, $21.63.
This is Ron Karasak. I haven't had video or audio for the last 3 to 4 minutes. Ryan, can you hear me? This is Ron Karasak. I haven't had video or audio for 5 minutes.
Ron, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. The last information I had was Mr. Lovenheim at 16,309.02, 21.63 an hour, and that's where it got cut off.
Repeat the whole
Jacob
thing.
Pride.
Okay, I will repeat, starting with Jacob, the last one.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, do we have audio? We're good?
I am good. I have now both audio again and video.
Okay, very good, Ron. Okay. Jacob Pride, $15,425.28. The hourly rate is $18.54. Those are the other components of the annual salary, and each of the township jobs are part-time employee jobs. And this is the further clarification to the employee pay rates. So we have hourly, recap, we have hourly, we have monthly already, we have quarterly, and now we have annual. So there should be hopefully very clear in terms of how to calculate payroll. Board, any questions on that? Okay. Okay, great. The next order of business is the appointment of attorneys. We are the Board of Auditors for Smithfield Township. As in a situation where we have to go out and seek, with the going out and seek legal counsel and legal representation, because the Board of Supervisors, the salaries, rates, all the information that was just discussed, the Board of Supervisors went out and decided to sue the Board of Auditors for basically an increase in salary, because that's what I saw in the actual petition that was sent, that served to my house. Not only my house, but the three of us. And when it was served, we were given approximately less than 10 days to respond, period. Or the matter would escalate, going so forth. The law firm of Fitzpatrick, Lentz, and Bubba is the firm that the Board of Auditors are using. And this particular firm, the Board of Auditors have had to use them multiple times in the past. I've been on the board for 5 years. And it seems like every other year or so, the supervisors threaten to sue us, and we have to go out and seek legal counsel. And so this firm has a familiarity with the township and with situations that have happened in regards to auditors and the township supervisors. So this firm has been in contact with myself, chairman, and chairperson, and I've also had conversation with my members here regarding the matter as well. And so this matter has gone through 2 stages as it stands right now. And so tonight I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we appoint this firm to represent us retroactively, because this matter has been festering since April of this year. And I think that it is unfortunate that we have to even hire an attorney, because again, this is a tax dollars that can be spent on something else that is more meaningful and more useful into the growth and development of our township. However, it is incumbent upon me and my board that we should be in an environment where we're able to carry out our duties and responsibilities without threats and being hauled into court behind our duties and responsibilities. So with that in mind, I would like to make a motion. Any discussion or?
The only thing I want to add that,
Not to cut you off, Vicky, but you need a second before you can discuss.
No.
Did you make a motion?
No.
Rose has made the motion.
Well, I want to withdraw. Wait a minute. Let's talk a bit before we make a motion.
we need a motion to discuss.
No, we don't need a motion to discuss. We will accept. And then what you have some feedback. So,
I'll go first because I have something to say as well.
Yeah,
well.
To me, I really think that we should, talk with the supervisors and don't go to court and try to reason and to accommodate and agree to something. Because it's a waste of tax money, and it's funny to me. Like, and they have to pay for our lawyer for it.
well, we
Like,
pay,
I
law-
know, but
we
it's
pay
our
lawyers
tax
back.
money.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Mhm, mhm.
Since you're the chairwoman, when you first got the letter, did you ever try to reach out to any of the supervisors
Mhm.
via email?
Mhm.
Try to regroup and have a
Mhm.
special meeting? Have you done that, Rose?
I received a lawsuit filing that said you have 10 days to respond. So I don't know what you received, but I was served by the sheriff. So at that point, it had already escalated beyond just
I mean, like-
basic, have a beer and
I mean,
talk.
the first
It had
letter-
already gone beyond that phase.
The
period.
first letter when Ron Karras.
I didn't get, I
sent
didn't-
out and I reached you by email. I received this letter,
Mhm.
certified registered letter from the
Mhm.
township solicitor.
Mhm.
And I never received a response back from you.
Well, I just want to say, at the point that I received formal information, at that point, we're here now. We're no longer way back
I
then.
know, but I'm
We're,
just
we're,
saying,
we're
we
here
could've-
now.
We could have prevented.
I
That's what I'm
don't think so. I think that I don't know any employee in America that once your employer gives you a raise, that you haul them off to court. Do you? I'm quite sure you were employed somewhere.
It's a totally
It is the
different-
case.
It's
That's the
not-
case,
it's not
because
the
that's, did you read the complaint? Did you read it?
Yes, I did read. the
Okay, so
complaint.
what does it say? It talks about salary. It talks about
Talks about
salary.
Salary, and that they also requested their pay rate and you denied it.
Be,
But I'm not gonna get into this
Yeah.
right now with you.
thank you so much, okay? Thank you so much, that's wonderful. However, at this point right now, we're at a stage where we're going to protect our board. And we have legal representation, just like the supervisors have gone out and used the township solicitor that we all pay for to file this in the first place. So at this point, it's one hand suing the other hand. So,
I do have something to say. I do. This is enraging. I mean, really, because as I sit here, and your question, by the way, is, first of all, I didn't get a letter like you did.
I didn't
you got a
either.
letter?
And I
You got-
have a certified registered letter from
I
Ron
didn't get,
Harris.
I didn't get
I didn't
one.
get one either.
That's what I'm
So-
telling you. I didn't get
And,
one.
and this is very strange to me, because you don't even have to do that. We live in the same township.
I live in the
Excuse me.
same, housing development as Robert.
Excuse
He's
me.
my neighbor.
Excuse me,
Gee,
let me
oh,
just
I'm sorry.
finish.
I'm
talking,
sorry.
please.
Okay.
We live in this tiny little township here. This building, we could have come together even before January 4th.
So that letter came in February, end of February.
But
and I
I'm
still have
talking
it.
even from the beginning. That's why I was saying, why didn't they raised the thing before? But I mean, I'm following instructions of what is given in front of me. I don't have to go back and barter and back and forth and bargain with people. I'm an intelligent person. I presume they were before I saw that walk out, stomp out like the kids in my class. But the fact is that these men could have just picked up the telephone and said, listen, I know we didn't put the right amount in there. Things are higher than ever. We need this much. Do you know I understand that? But you don't come to me the night of the reorganization and then stomp out of a meeting because I'm not agreeing with what I see in front of me in black and white. The budget says there's a 3% raise in there for you, okay? I wouldn't have even gone back to see where that was coming from. Then I looked to see what they're all angry about. It's about a position that should be held by somebody. They have part-time positions. They accepted that when they took it. This is a position that was never even filled, and they're chopping that up. I don't care. Be satisfied, because that wasn't even your position. You have a part-time job. That's what you agreed to. You can look and find employment elsewhere in the township. I know that's agreeable, and that's in the law within this township. However, you don't come and sue me with my tax dollars. With my tax dollars, you are paying this man to sue me and then asking me to pick out a lawyer and let me see if we'll pay what that lawyer is asking for. Well, I want the best. If you sue me, I'm going to get the best. And if whatever they cost, you will pay. As far as I'm concerned, I'm very, very angry about this. I'm not even supposed to be there. I'm straight out of the hospital. This is my first little journey out of my bed. And I'm here listening to silliness. It's silly. These are grown men. Why didn't they say something? And talking about, I can't talk to you. This is a court. What are you talking about? You're talking about my tax dollars that you want to pay to go to court. And you don't even want to, you have the opportunity to speak to us. You're not telling us secrets. This is your thought pattern that put that amount in there. So why would you come to me now and say, I have a secret, I'll tell it in court? Now, the stupidity has to come out of this. This is a simple task to set the salaries that are in the budget. So no, and if they have a habit of going to court, then maybe they're not the right people in there, because you don't sue your coworkers because they don't agree with you. If they have a record of how many times they've sued, then that's a shame.
Our board has been threatened and intimidated since I got on the board, and that's from 2017. This is nothing new.
This is ridiculous.
It's, this is nothing new. So, it happens. That's why we have, Fitzpatrick, Lance, and Bubba. This is nothing new. So, any other comments?
No, I just have to
Okay,
say
so I want to make a motion that, at this point, the Board of Auditors need legal representation, and Fitzpatrick, Lance, and Bubba is our firm that we've always used. And I would like to make a motion that we appoint them retroactively to the first filing that took place with the supervisors. They filed April the 22nd. I have a copy of it, and I'll make that motion.
But whatever the money is, that's usually something that has to be there. And when that comes down, if it goes any further, then you have to resupply that money. So each time, are we going to meet and get it reapproved by people? I mean, come on now. If it's 5,000, I mean, I've dealt with so many different cases where I have to put up $5,000, $10,000 for but after that drains down, and you have like 2,000 left, they want to see the other 8,000 go back up there. So they have to be prepared to pay that out of my tax dollars. When lettuce is $5 and eggs can go up to $7 per dozen, this is what they're doing with the money.
I understand your cries, your issues, and at this point right now, we need to appoint the law firm to
Please do.
represent us, and it works the flip side, because our tax dollars are paying the township solicitor, whatever, how many hours or how much time, whatever he spends on this case, we pay for it. So it works both ways, that his time can be spent to try and translate and help our supervisors carry out their day, their jobs.
Well, I think then the motion should be made for whatever it costs, because you can't set an amount there and then have to come back and.
Well, I'm not going to put a cap on this. I think right now we're in the, hopefully it will not advance beyond preliminarily what we're doing, hopefully, because I think in about 2 months, we will be back here on January the 4th, 2023, for another round of approving salaries for the supervisors.
That's another concern.
I mean,
How does that go about? Like, if we're in litigation with them, how do we end up coming back here to talk to them? Like, if the first one is not even settled?
Well,
They
as
don't
far as
talk
we're
to-
concerned, we've already established the salary. They are disputing it, so that's their prerogative.
They
them
established
to
the
do.
salary and we just divided it. That's all. That's all we're
They
doing.
said, wait a minute, they defined the budgetary line for salaries, and it is our role to assign a salary for each one of the positions.
Okay, so we did that.
We did that, and I recognize that, we did that, and we will be back here again to do that again, January 2023. So at this point right now, I make a motion that we appoint Fitzpatrick, Lance, and Bubba as our
I second it, definitely.
legal firm.
Take back in that.
Okay, so
Do you want to start them retroactively?
yes, retroactively, yes.
And we're off the air again.
No, the video is off
Okay,
there, but the meeting's still going.
okay, that's
We're
wonderful.
all still here.
Yes, we
Ron?
need.
Ron, you still there?
I am still here, and with your request, I didn't get to vote on the vote on the appointment of Fitzpatrick, Lentz, and Bubba.
There were two. I made a motion and, Audrey Bailey Hawker
Second, I second.
seconded the motion.
Okay, and
And
did you vote on it or not?
yes, we did.
Okay. And the vote was,
I call a vote, we'll
So
just
let's-
retract.
let's vote on it.
I call a vote on the appointment of Fitzpatrick, Lance, and Bubba as our attorneys for the Board of Auditors, retroactively back to the April the 22nd.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
So there's 3 ayes.
3
unanimous.
ayes. The next item is public comment regarding anything that you heard tonight.
May I have your name, sir?
My name is Nathan Scott. Okay. I'm amazed. I'm astounded, I'm totally confused. I cannot go to my boss and say, I don't think that you're paying me enough. So I'm taking you to court. I have a question. Are the other board members supposed to be here for this meeting tonight? Aren't they paying salary people?
The Board of
We're the
Supervisors.
We are the Board of Auditors here.
Yeah,
Aren't they-
you mean the supervisors, the township supervisors, the ones that are bringing them up? Yes, well,
They're paid by the taxpayers, but they're not here on something that has to do with the, legal issues amongst their own board. Not one of them here tonight. I'd like that in the notes. Very saddened.
one is Barrett is one of the supervisors is on the phone.
Okay, no,
Brian, are you still with us?
apparently not.
No,
Thing is.
Oh, okay, no, none of them are.
I'm
The
very,
other gentleman is, he's the solicitor though, right?
Yeah, he's a township solicitor that we pay for.
I'm very disturbed that I heard 2 or 3 times in here tonight that there was a public, it was put out to the public that this meeting was taking place. I didn't get it. I'm a resident of Smithfield. I see 50 chairs inside this room. I see 2 people occupying. That's the problem. So I think that what's gonna happen is because I have lived in the Pocono for over 30 years. I have lived in Smithfield for 20 years. By the way, that's about half my life. I think that what's gonna happen here is your next meeting will have 50 chairs filled. I think that we will have some media that is in here, and I'm not talking about News 13 or 16 or any of the news that you might be used to dealing with. I think that it is, I find it extremely disturbing that you have, suddenly this kind of action takes place when you have 2 African Americans on your board. I'm gonna come right out and say it. All of a sudden, you're gonna fight them like they, how dare you? How dare the people that are the supervisors on this board? You don't even have the decency to show up to a room. You don't have, I won't even say decency, I'm gonna call it courage. You're gonna throw stones from behind an attorney. Well, that's why they make this, they make more than one attorney. You don't only have, there's not, you don't have the only one. And I'm trying right now to contain my anger when it comes down to the waste of money that is taking place right now. I can guarantee you that that lawyer that's on the other side of there is making at least $250 an hour. And if he goes to court, it's gonna go up to 4 and more. And there's still potholes in streets. There's still street lamps that don't work in Smithfield. I dare you. So expect me at this meeting, the court meetings, and every other meeting from now on. Anthony, Kevin Scott. And trust me, it's gonna ring bells, ding, ding, ding. You wanna fight? Now you got to fight. This is not gonna be two ladies sitting in a very quiet, quaint little room, being bullied and badgered. You're making threats under the color of authority. You are utilizing the auditor, the
Taxpayer.
solicitor to carry out your threats and your attempted intimidation. So there will be an outcry. You guys have a great night. Ladies, you
Thank you.
continue doing your job and how do they say, what was the famous thing? Stand your ground. Stand your ground. That's absurd. It is absurd that somebody could say, well, you're not paying me enough. So guess what? I'm gonna sue you. And just the circumstances alone, and I'm gonna be quiet after this. The circumstances alone, you are vying for money on a job that nobody is doing. Then why don't you hire somebody for that job? You don't get to, if I don't have a coworker, I don't get to split his salary with my buddies. Outrageous. But okay.
Okay.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you so much for your comments.
Yeah, no problem.
Do we have any other public comments?
James Bailey. I will have to agree, not people upon me not to leave this job, that it seems outrageous that someone that has agreed to a job, a part-timer, is also now going to dictate the terms of their salary. In other words, when you're hired, you agree to what it is or it's not. Now, of course, if it's not enough, you can go through collective bargaining, but here they're demanding legally that someone give them more money, and that's ridiculous. These are part-time people. And consequently, it's a pattern that they obviously follow every year. In other words, I think that from what I hear, that every January, they have somebody that's gonna go along with it. That's ridiculous. As my nephew Tony said, you're wasting money that could be used to be used in the township on his attorney. For these greedy people to get more money on something that's already been said. They should be ashamed of themselves.
I would like to step in here, Julia, Township Manager. Just so you gentlemen are aware, one of the starts, and I won't go too far into this. But one of the problems is that all of the township employees received a 6% raise last year, in line with the social security raise that went on. And the supervisors did not. The board voted to not give them the same raise that all of the other township employees are getting. And that is one of the things. So it is important to keep in mind that one of the things to be aware of is that the supervisors feel that they are being separated from the other township employees as part-timers, specifically because they're supervisors.
Can I add to that, please?
Well-
I would like,
This is free.
Will pay more than their others. Now, how is it?
It's the difference, of how this is structured. When you are elected as a township official, the supervisor of the township, you receive a stipend that helps cover your expenses simply for being a supervisor. According to the second-class township code, you are also allowed to work for your township as a part-timer. Those two things are entirely separate.
Okay, so
Some municipalities have it where the supervisors are only supervisors and they do nothing else. Some municipalities have it where they are supervisors over here and then they are part-time employees as well.
What you're saying is that they're given a stipend, and then they have the option of getting a job also. In other words, they're double dipping.
They're not double dipping because the job related to supervisor is one thing.
Right, so they're getting paid for the township, right?
Right, they are paid because they are elected officials.
Okay, now who's paying them the assignment?
Taxpayer.
And it comes out of the taxpayer money, you're correct, but,
Two times going into the pocket of the township.
oh, no, because the part-time jobs that they do, as we've said, Brian, is the secretary, Robert is economic development, and Jacob is digital passport. All of those duties that they perform there are entirely separated.
Well, I'm not talking about the description of the job. What I'm saying is that the money that they're being paid is coming from township. They get the stipend from the township, and then they're getting paid a salary. That's getting paid twice.
Maybe you should clarify the stipend amount.
The- the-
That's correct.
No, you have, no offense, you have no control over the stipend, that's mandated.
No,
by
the
law.
stipend is by law. It is $3,200. Uh,
2,500.
Oh, it's 25, I stand corrected. It's 2,500 a year. And each of the supervisors ran for public office. They ran for the position to be township supervisor, and they knew the job as supervisor included a stipend of $2,500. And they have the ability to put that, they wear that hat as supervisor, and they also have the ability to grab another hat and be a regular township employee, regular township part-time employee.
Easy to understand.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna mention any names, I spoke to a township supervisor, I'm not gonna tell you where it's from, period, personal friend. But he said, when I need extra money, I jump on the road truck and I go out with them. So that's double dipping. You understand? There are a number of people in this community right now that would love to make $21 an hour. Just $21 an hour. They would love that job. That's not enough for somebody to work part-time. These are my questions.
But I do have a comment here. What I asked one of the township supervisors this evening, and he failed to answer it, thinking that he has to do it in court, is the fact that these supervisors set the salaries, excuse me, set the salary for these positions, you see. So
The budget.
the budget, in the budget
They
for,
define how much.
yeah, this is what I meant, okay?
Mhm.
So whatever that salary was for that one position that's being shared, they could have put $10,000 in there. Could they not have? Was that not in the budget? Because I saw extra
They can
money.
make it 100,000. They can make it
Thank you.
200,000. They have the
So-
ability to do that
Okay,
for
so
the
my,
budget line item.
okay, so this is what I'm saying. If they knew before they came into this place on January 4th, that they wanted something more than 3%, why didn't they just go and raise the salary when they put it in the budget? Because this would have been all finished. We would have passed everybody would have said, Happy New Year and gone about their business. But no, we're sitting here now because they come into a meeting after they've already set the amount that should be divided between the three of them. And they want us to go above that and give them something because they saw that somebody else is getting 6%. If that's what you wanted, then that's what you should have put down there first. And then you're gonna take me to court? This, my time is money.
Mhm.
You guys are auditors, right?
Yes. Board of Auditors, yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, Board of Auditors, yes.
Do you have a responsibility to the constituents who voted you into office?
That's right. We represent the taxpayers of our township. That is correct.
Not the board.
That is correct. That is correct. That's correct. Not the Board of the Supervisors.
Once again, I have to go back to the fact that so many people, I can guarantee you that if I put 50 people in this room and they need to follow along. As a matter of fact, when are the supervisors election?
Next year.
If I put 50 people in this room, that's 50 people that's gonna work for all three of them to be out of office, if this should carry further. If this should go any further. You wanna make the rest, now I'll make them,
Right.
okay? I would put 50 people in his office, and then 50 the next meeting, different. And I can guarantee you that these people will not be in office next year. So if we're going to play, let's play for, let's play for all marbles. Because when I see, or when I hear that somebody who is representing constituents, that has a constituency in Smithfield, get up, take your ball and go home, basically, get up, storm out of a meeting because they hear something, then that's somebody that can't take the pressure in the first place. So, I don't know, I don't know, this is,
Okay, thank you so much for, any other comments? Thank you so much for your comments. I just, definitely, understand the supervisors meet twice, they meet twice a month. And I think those meetings are advertised, and I did see them on the website, so you definitely have an opportunity to attend those supervisors meetings, and you'll be able to see the folks that are that we are talking about. And I don't have any other comments. The folks on Zoom, any comments? Any comments, Ron? Or Brian?
No comments from me with respect to the matters at hand.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Ron. Okay, at this point then, I would like to adjourn our meeting. It is approximately 6:10.
Madam Chair, this is Ron Karasak speaking again. Maybe I should say this because I don't know if it occurred. I think you also need to set the salary for the Fitzpatrick Benz Lentz and Bubba firm. When I say the salary, the hourly rate, so that the supervisors can then determine whether they're going to agree to that or whether you got to go back before a judge and have a judge decide. I don't think the hourly rate was set.
The contract has the hourly rates presented, and I'm submitting that as a addendum to the with the meeting. And the rates that they're charging are basic, pretty low here, actually. 150 to 400 per hour for services of attorneys, 115 to 170 for services of paralegals, and the average rate is about my current rate is about 275. So these are the hourly rates. I believe your rate's higher than
What are their rates?
Huh?
What are the rates?
I would like to, in your minutes, I would like it for the record for the public, how much the solicitor is getting.
yeah. What's your rate, Ron? Because you represent the supervisor. So
$198.50 an hour. And so
okay,
you're
so
all right. So I did get all the rates. So the first one you said was 150. That's what, a paralegal rate? Or is that a
150?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There is a range from 150 to 400 per hour for services of attorneys, and paralegals are 115 to 170 per hour.
Okay. And then what was the 275 one?
That is just an average. This is an average, but these are the rates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but these are the range, and
Okay.
that we have for the attorneys,
All right. Thank
for
you.
the law firm. You're welcome. And I know probably at this point, considering the fact that Vicky mentioned that she received a certified letter from you, I'm quite sure we paid for that. That's a part of hours that have already been applied towards this endeavor here. And I've gotten a legal motion served, so I'm quite sure you spent some time on that. And then you had to appear at the pre-trial hearing, I'm quite sure you had to rack up some hours for that time as well. So there's already been some aspect of legal time already devoted to this matter on behalf of the supervisor's attorney.
This is the reason.
Yes.
Am I clear on this? You received a registered letter or a certified letter
Yes, from the township solicitor, Ron Karasek.
from the gentleman that's on here now?
Yes.
Okay, my question is, why didn't the other two
I don't know.
Well, that's, we'll let them ask Ron.
No, I'm not, it's not directed at you here. I'm asking Ron,
Oh, okay.
why did the other two not? And I'm sure that you're gonna tell me you can't talk about that right now. Because it has to go to court. You let me, I wanna know why the other two didn't receive the same courtesy.
I know I
Why did
had
they-
to sign it.
Huh?
I know I had to sign a
No,
pink card.
It's not you, you are completely out of the position.
I don't know, but whatever letter it was,
He's here. Can he answer?
Oh.
Why didn't, excuse me, what, sir, why didn't you send us a registered letter as well?
If this is directed to me, because the commentator, I could not hear very well at all, not only now, but before. 3 registered letters went out on February 2 to the 3 of you. Your letter was accepted according to my email or according to my file here on February 4, your signature. Ms. Oskins was, that's
No,
what
no,
it
no, no,
says
hold
here
on.
on the green card in front of me. Ms.
Sir,
Oskins,
I wasn't even in this town on that date. I was in California. What are you talking about?
well, maybe it says
oh, you mean Vicky? Oh, he said
What
Vicky.
about Audrey Bailey
No.
Hopper?
Yeah, the card,
Vicky's-
Audrey card.
Vicky had hers also signed on February 4. All right, maybe this is not your signature, but it certainly looks like it says something Bailey. Maybe it was a person on your behalf or at your home or at your residence. It was sent to 345 Remington Road.
Right. I never got it. I never saw it.
I know.
And I wasn't. in
Someone
town.
signed for it, may not have been you. And the letter to Ms. Davis was never accepted. So she did not get it because of that.
I never got a card or anything that said that I had a letter. I found out about the matter, but anyway, I found out about the matter from these two. But I think that at that point, I think when you carry out your duties in terms of establishing the salary and you're not happy, it's unheard of to go to an attorney and say, I don't like it. And this is just a continuation of the saga that happens here. This is not the first time nor the last. As I mentioned, I've been on the board 5 years. This has happened 3 other occasions. So this is the 3rd time. I understand when John Sitroff was on the board that it never occurred. And that was in, I think I replaced him in 2017. He left in 2016. And so he was on the board prior to that about another 10 years. So, yeah.
I wonder what's happening.
John, I don't know.
And how many times did they ever take this board to court?
Actually, the court, never. This is the first time.
Yeah, that does.
And we've always received threatening letters from Ron Karasek on behalf of the supervisors the entire time I've been on this board. It has never stopped. So this is just a continuation. But at this point right now, we're here. We're here now, and I know that yeah, I didn't get it.
Take us to court.
I didn't get it, but at this point right now, I'm submitting this one as well. Do I give this to you? Okay, perfect. Okay, so, any other comments or anything? No?
Copy to Audrey.
Oh, yeah, this is a contract with the, yeah, sure. Yeah, I told one I sent to you.
No, I don't have that.
You don't have this one?
No.
Okay, all right. I'll make sure that you both have. Okay, no problem. I don't think I have copies, no. Okay, at this point now, I think that, we are going to adjourn. And everyone have a wonderful evening. It is 6:20.
Make that motion.
I make a motion that we adjourn. It's 6:20. Oh, the second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have any public participation. And maybe when it's full, they will listen to.
It's done.
Right, seeing everybody again.
Great seeing you. And you know what? I'm gonna keep you in my prayers. I know you've been in sick. I have been in the hospital overnight and, I'm not feeling too well right now, but I know I have a duty that I have to, perform. So
Great job. You got backup coming. So,
This is Ron Karasak, Madam Chair, and the other auditors have a good evening. I'm going to be leaving the meeting. Thank
okay,
you.
have a great evening, Ron, okay?
And again,
I'm gonna work on.
Just give the further clarification. Okay, sure, no problem.